You can just go ahead because the stream is not real time anyways. I think
Yeah, totally.
he's 30 seconds off. But in any
Cool.
case, why don't you tell us like what you're looking at here?
Yeah, I'll show you guys how to install the app. This is the Teams platform. App's prototype lives. Essentially, you can add it to your Teams channel right here. So I'm going to add the chat mode application, and it popped up and it says, "Hello, I'm your personal employee assistant. What would you like to call me?" And this is Tyler, so I'm going to call myself Tyler. Now it knows that the username is Tyler. I also can just pull the username from the Teams ecosystem. I just haven't done that yet. It already knows that I'm Tyler Odenthal, and I believe it also has my email. So that's nice. I think you already start to get specific parameters when you're inside the Teams ecosystem, which is very handy. I know that Facebook does that. Other platforms also do that. So what you're looking at now is the prototype Teams app. So this is our HR bot. Essentially, it's constructed with a couple of use cases. It has a food survey for allergies, an activity survey, and HR type section. But since a lot of you haven't really probably experienced the Teams ecosystem, I'm just going to run through some card examples. So can you show me some cards? Cool. So what I did was I pulled up the cards sample block that you can essentially download from the GitHub Microsoft bot framework. And what it has is these 9 types of cards. And the first one is kind of a card that most people see in bots. And this is the gallery type card concept. So it has a title, it has subcontext, and it has a button. Here's the same concept with memory. So what that means is that the picture can change and the text can change. So it's now automatically generating different types of memory type parameters. I believe there's also thumbnail card. So now you can have a gallery type card that's a little bit smaller. Sign-in card. This is really good for OAuth. So there's a lot of things that Teams may require OAuth authentication for. And they've provided a card to do that, which is really, really nice. And now these next 5-ish, well, 3-ish cards don't necessarily work in Teams. They have not programmed that yet. But the biggest one and the most important one is adaptive cards. So this is their adaptive cards type concept. It's essentially a web frame type concept / HTML type concept in a bot. So this window and this information can change to whatever you want it to be. You can have pictures, you can have all sorts of stuff, little tiny icons. Make this green, make it whatever you want. So that's what an adaptive card is. So I'm just going to go back to the menu.
So
Yeah, go for it.
why do you think adaptive cards are going to be so powerful? What's so exciting about the adaptive cards here? And people can probably already see me smiling because there's some really cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the adaptive cards itself, I think, is extremely powerful because there's not a really good way to display data in a chatbot form at the moment. So this example was developed by Microsoft to specifically show your tickets. So when someone bought a ticket, this would get sent directly to your phone. So a lot of airlines already have this concept, but imagine just having your ticket automatically sent to your phone and you don't have to worry about it. That's possible now inside of a chatbot. You don't have to go to a web app. You don't have to go away from the bot anymore. All that can be integrated inside the bot in a really, really nice looking way. So as you get this type of technology and you build it out, you can build it out for really anything. You can have settings panels. You can have HR request panels, which I'll actually be able to show you. So I'll go back to the menu.
And perhaps to preface this for everyone watching, adaptive cards is still technically in a Microsoft developer preview. So it is not sort of a general release quite yet. But I think it begins to sort of give us an idea of what some of the powerful things we're going to begin to be able to do within the Microsoft ecosystem with adaptive cards. So just to give everyone forewarning, there are some So there are some bugs, but I think when this comes out, it's going to be really powerful because you're not only going to be able to deploy adaptive cards in Microsoft Teams, so you're going to be able to put it into Outlook, and you can begin to see like these things are almost like sort of mini applications to a certain extent,
For sure.
where you don't have to jump into CRM, into Microsoft Dynamics. We can pull a adaptive card which have a number of fields for Microsoft Dynamics, and get information out, put information in, sort of change that thing in a really robust workflow that doesn't just lock you into a conversation flow. Because if I was trying to do some of this stuff in a conversation flow, it might be like, a bit more difficult to make that work really well. Um, so, just from my perspective, is still developer preview. A lot of potential here we see.
For sure. So this is what I call a main menu, and this is what I call a sub menu. Uh, this is both held within the same intent. And I only tell you that because I want to show you a really cool concept called interruptions that Bot Framework now has. So I'm actually one layer deep inside of my intent right now. And since we've been talking about COVID, I've actually loaded up this bot with about 150 different coronavirus questions and answer responses using the quick Q&A maker inside of Microsoft ecosystem. So I can pretty much ask whatever type of COVID question. It'll get it from the CDC or the World Health Organization. Those are the two. And what you'll see is it pulls that response and sends it back to me. But what is crazy is that it actually put me back right to the exact location. A lot of bots do, like a lot of platforms do not do this. They do not have a concept of interruption. Essentially, when you trigger a intent to go somewhere else, and you can't come back very, very easily. Microsoft has solved that problem with a concept called interruption. And I can bounce out as many times as I want. Well, actually, not as many times. I think I have it set to 3 or it resets itself. But about COVID, before it actually resets my response, before I asked 2 questions about coronavirus, and it now remembers that I'm still on the food menu. It didn't take me this, it take me elsewhere. It didn't take me like a coronavirus section. It brought me back to the food menu, which I thought is
Yeah, for sure.
and now I'll just click food settings, and this is our first example of a thing called adaptive cards. So this is an adaptive card that I built that pulls in the food survey data that I recently did. And the food survey actually asks for your food preferences and if you have food allergies. I personally have food allergies, and I know a lot of people, about 12% of the world actually has food allergies. So maybe in an HR type environment, getting that type of data might be useful. So that's just something that I started to actually just do that real quick because it shows off a feature called language understanding, which is Lewis's main NLU model, their new programming language called adaptive dialogue. So I have allergies. Cool. Thanks for telling me about your allergies. So what it's going to do is it's going to parse out shrimp because shrimp is a common entity that people associate with food allergies. So it parsed out shrimp. It knows that shrimp's actually that as shellfish, and it actually logged that on the back end. So I'll just complete this survey really quick since you guys kind of understand it. It's now asking for what I hate. I hate tomatoes. So I'm just going to say I hate tomatoes. It's going to parse out tomatoes. I love the Twix candy bar. It should parse out Twix. Parsed out Twix. Now it's asking me for my food cuisine. I love... Cool. And it should have parsed out Indian. So what it actually did here is it sent my survey data to the back end, and it saved all that stuff. So now I can actually access it right here. You can see favorite food. So that's all just logged right here in a card. But it also goes to the back end, which a lot of people don't know what a back end is. It's just a server. And you can use that server to generate a thing called tabs. And what we're doing with this data is we're going to be putting all this data inside of easy to use tabs that HR representatives or anyone for that matter can look at. So if we just click the COVID tab, we didn't generate, but this is an example of what a COVID. So this is the John Hopkins COVID dashboard. this is what it looks like inside of a tab, inside of Microsoft Team Nation. You can do a lot of interactive things. But that food survey that we just took is also now a dashboard. This is a personal dashboard I made for specifically if people were to use the Teams chatbot. So that Indian food, the shellfish allergies, the Twix, the tomatoes, that all got logged right here, and it automatically updated. It was at 1036. You probably don't know that because you see it, but it's now at 1037 because I just took the survey and it just updated. So all that data is nicely displayed here. You can do that for anything. Do that for any type of question, any type of survey answer response. You can log a tab dashboard, which I find very, very powerful. And I guess I only got like 2 or 3 other that I could go through real quick.
And I guess just a quick aside, Chris made a good point, and that is the fact that adaptive cards is in general adaptive dialogue, which is sort of the new way Microsoft is making dialogue a little bit more robust in the way that we could sort of manage and sort of create it. So that revision is adaptive cards are in general access, adaptive dialogue is in developer preview.
Yeah, that's true. And you can use adaptive cards pretty much anywhere at the moment, as far as I'm aware. But yeah, adaptive dialogue still experience. The request vacation time actually utilizes a different feature of adaptive cards, which is the input module for date, I think. So this is a really cool way to get date information. And I specifically decided to use this for the request vacation time feature because I find it kind of hard to parse out. Like, I want to take a vacation from April blah 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 to March blah blah. You can definitely do it that way, and I've set up meetings that way in conversation before. But I feel like this is like a way better way to do vacation request. It's going to log that button, and now that information actually got sent to the backend that an HR representative can look at or approve or deny, or it can automatically get approved or denied via an API integration call that some company may have, or maybe it's integrated with like an HR management system that we send that webhook to. But that's done right there. And then I'll just show off, I guess, the activities adaptive card, because it's pretty much the same as the food one, but it's skinned out a little bit differently. I think it's this survey, I won't go through it, but since I haven't taken this survey, it's all represented as null. But if I were to go through, all these would update. And as I would take the question saying, are you a book reader? Yes, it would be here. What do you like to do outside? Stuff. You watch TV. That'll all be done here. And then I've already showed off tabs. The Bing feature. Cool. Can you look something up on YouTube? Can you look up something up on YouTube? Cool. What would you like to look up? How about COVID-19? So I developed a looping function using adaptive cards to generate a YouTube response. So with YouTube, and this is getting sent into the custom search engine, and it's parsing YouTube and developing adaptive cards in real time. So what that means is I can easily see information about a subject and YouTube statistics. So the ones that are playlists are technically don't have any of this extra information, but if it gets the video directly, you can see that it gets the stat, which I find cool. And if you were to want to watch it, click the button and it pulls up the video. It'd be super cool if it actually browser or something and it pulled it up like right here, but I haven't figured out how to do that. If that is possible, that'd be super dope. Any Microsoft people watching? Yeah, I think that's pretty much about it. I went through card examples, Q&A, COVID, interrupts, Lewis survey, setting cards, adaptive cards, tabs, vacation request, and the Bing custom search skill. And I'll just leave it on the dashboard because I think that's kind of like the biggest feature of this. A lot of chatbots actually don't have tabs, and I find that to be extremely powerful. So right next to your chatbot, you have the ability to have all these different types of tabs, and you can construct them in any way you want. So I find that we're probably going to do a lot of that in the future, is utilizing this space up here for things that are how like that make the chat not just stored in the chatbot. It's now going to a dashboard. It's now going up to these tabs. Now integrating with HR systems. Now using Power Automate to send it out to an email format. So currently have an HR section, the food section, as you saw, employee activity surveys. But kind of the sky's the limit. We can build whatever we want inside of this dashboard, have these tabs up here. So yeah, and if you guys have anything else to add, go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think this was a really fantastic demo, Tyler, to sort of walk us through Microsoft Teams and how we can begin to integrate, bot services, bot framework, Lewis, adaptive cards, tabs, sort of all into a package, and what that sort of could look like for a custom implementation for Microsoft Teams. So I think there's going to be a lot of really interesting things to come, and we're going to keep pumping out these live streams, keeping them really informal, talking about really all things under the sun. I think video, but I will try to get that back.
Oh shit, my bad.
Yeah, no worries. But we'll try to get it to work here.
At least we got the demo to like run, right? That was the, yeah, that's huge. That's huge. I'm glad we were able to get that.
We did. So yeah, as I was saying, we're going to keep doing these live streams, talking about all things conversational AI, inside technologies we're playing with on the back burner. So certainly let us know if you guys have topics or ideas. Next Wednesday at 12 p.m. PST, we will be back here again. We'll send out a notification. You work at Microsoft, we'd love to talk to you guys more. We're doing a lot of cool stuff with Composer, Power Virtual Agent, hands-on, a lot of these developer previews. So, on that note, stay tuned and
Jumping in.